Hi all. So welcome back to Angular 21 tutorial. So all the basic topics are done. In the last episode, we have completed login implementation, but with the hardcode login. Okay. So this is the component where we have a small, where we have created a class and that binded over here as a data type. Then this object we binded to our respective form element by using ng model. We imported forms module. And then here only we added the condition. If user provide the email ID this and password this, then only we will allow him to log in. Otherwise, we will show the wrong credential. So this was your hardcode login, right? Normally, just for machine test, when you are giving interviews, right? So many people will ask you to provide complete the machine test once you are done with the theoretical or the first round. So in that, sometimes you have to do like this. But most time while working on the project, you have to integrate the real API. An API will validate key use whatever the credential user has provided, it is valid or not. So that we are going to do. Again, I will be using the same component, just remaining things will be same. Login form and everything. Just instead of this hardcode login, now the validity of the user will be checked from the API side. Fine. So you need a API. So you have to visit freeprojectapi.com. Okay. Here, if you have not joined any my YouTube community, so just click on join. You will be redirected to the WhatsApp community. Then click on over here, explore project ideas. Here, so many small project APIs are there. Scroll to the bottom and user app. This is the API what we are going to use. Now, here so many APIs are there. Login, token, refresh token, send, reset password, verify OT. So many APIs there what we need for practice. Now, first we have to create your user. So click over here. Okay. Now here you have to provide the data. Let's say test 45 at the rate gmail.com, full name test45, password 11223344. Fine. So this is the user I'm creating. You have to click on test endpoint. So now the means the RISP email already present. So this email I think already present. Let's say 98. Your email ID is unique. So you, if email ID is already exists, you won't able to create. You have to provide a different email ID. Test endpoint user created successfully. Okay. So we created a user. Now with this login credential, we should be able to log in. Now here only you have the login API. So bottom of this, you have to pass email and password was, let's pass the wrong password first. If you click on test endpoint, the response is unauthorized, means the wrong credential. If you pass the correct password now, 11223344. Sorry, over here, 11223344. If you click on test endpoint now, see, you got the login success. In response, you got the whole user object along with the token and the refresh token. Okay, the refresh token and the token we are going to discuss further. But if you pass the correct credential with this API, you are able to log in. Now, what we are doing it over here, that we should do from our API, from our application, right? Now, so instead of this, now we have to do the API call integration. So let me comment this. Now API call integration is there. So here only I'm creating the object of your HTTP. So HTTP colon, sorry, is equal to inject. What you need to inject your HTTP. Either you write it over here or you move it to a service one and the same thing. But just the topic is just we have to integrate the API. That's why I'm creating over here. But the best approach is you should create your API call function into your service, not in the component itself. Fine. Now, so this dot HTTP dot log, sorry, post API, and you need the URL. So let's get the URL. So this was our URL for the login. Let's copy the URL. Let's post it over here. Then it needs object. Now see, when you created the object, we had email and password. Now what our login API needs? Email ID. See, so whatever the object is required, that field should be matching. So here instead of email, I'm changing this to email ID, here also, and here also. Got it? Now our object is ready. Now this object, the object which you binded to the form, that you need to send it over here. See, login object, this only you binded over here. So this will be your second object, this dot login object. Then dot subscribe, round bracket, curly bracket, next, colon, round bracket, result, colon, any, I'm going with NU. This is your success block, error block, error. Fine. Let's add a debugger at both the places, in success block and in error block. Let's try to debug it. Let's add a debugger over here also. We will check the object is proper or not. No colors 4200. I think I'm not running my application. Let me run it. Open the terminal. NGS. Let's run it. So by default application will run on 4200, but you can change that also while running also, or you can change the port in your angular.json also. Although this extra thing, we are going to have one more episode where I will explain all the extra things only. Okay. Now, so here, if I reload, application is accessible. By default, login page is coming because we said in the default route. Now, what was the credential we use? This was the credential. Email ID I'm passing, but password, anything I'm passing. Wrong password I'm passing. Let's try to debug it now. On click of login, see, we got the debugger. If you check, hover on this login object, whatever the detail you filled inside the form, that you got it over here. Continue. So now you can see error block got executed. And if you check, error dot unauthorized you are getting, means if error dot title is unauthorized, means your the credential what you have passed is not the correct one. Fine. So in else block, you can write the error block. So error alert wrong credential, and if API call is success, so you will get your success block, next block will execute. Let's see that also. If I pass the correct password now, 11223344. If I click on login, now you see we have the correct password. So if I click on next now, see next block got executed, and result you are able to find the data also, which user is logged in. See the email ID and the password, user ID is also coming, and token is also coming. Understood? So this is what login page implementation along with the API. Okay. So if you are not following, like, because half of the work like form creation, everything was done in the previous episode, here we just, instead of the hardcode login, we just created it with the API integration. Okay. If you are new and if you are just following this, make sure you watch the previous video, then only you will be able to design this form and everything. But all the code is visible over here. This code, whatever the login form you see, we have developed that by using Copilot only. Okay. So some CSS and everything, we did it by Copilot only. We didn't design it. Okay. So here we completed our login. And again, after login, we have to redirect also. So this part will be over here. Okay. Let's try one more time if it is navigating inside or not. 11223344. On click of login, see, we are able to log in inside the application. Okay. Now, in next part, I will be showing you guard. So currently, without login page is implemented, but without login also user will be able to access the page. Let me show you how. Let's say I go back to the login page. But if I know the URL, see, I'm able to log in. So we have to restrict this. If user is not logged in, we should not allow user to access any page. So we do that by using the guard. Okay. So guard I will be explaining in the next video. Or let's complete it right now because it is just 10 minutes. So let me complete that also. Fine. So currently you can see without login also we are able to access the page. This should not happen, right? So for doing that, what we need to do? So we have to create the guard. So guard is a kind of topic in Angular. Okay. So let's minimize. Now in app folder, I'm creating a folder that is guard. We have multiple guards. Okay. Now we are creating a CanActivate guard. Before activating any route, that CanActivate guard will execute. Just like that, we have so many guard, but for now we will just discuss the CanActivate guard. So you have to open a new terminal. Now you have to create a guard. So ng generate guard, the name of guard. Let's say auth I'm giving. If you click enter, it will provide you the option of how many guards are there. See, can activate child, can deactivate, can match. So we are going with the can activate. So you can use arrow buttons to shuffle, then like this. Okay. So we just want the can activate. So click on enter. So you see it has created the guard. Now this is what guard look like. It's an arrow function. Okay. In previous version, before Angular 16, it was a service, but now it's a arrow function. Okay. Now this guard will execute whenever you try to access a route, but it's not going to do automatically. So this guard you have to add on your route. So let's say in your routing file, signal. Okay. On this route, you will add can activate. See, and what it expect? Array of guard. Square bracket, your guard name. What's your guard name? Auth guard. So this function name actually you have to pass it over here. It needs the import also. Otherwise it won't understand what is this. So we added the import also at the top. See? So this is how you add the guard. You create the guard and then guard name you add it over here on the route. Whatever the route you want to protect without login, whatever the routes are there which you don't want to access, right? So there you will add the guard. Now let's see. I will just add a debugger over here. See now when this will execute, I just wanted to show you this. We just added guard on the signal. Okay. If I'm navigating to the ng class, my guard is not getting executed. But if I navigate to signal, see, my guard got executed. Debugger we have got it here means my can activate function got executed. So can activate. Before activating any route, this function will execute. If we pass return true, it will allow you to access. If we pass return false, it won't allow you to access. That's it. That's the purpose of guard. Now, we implemented the login functionality, right? But how does it know the user is logged in or not? So how we do it, whenever we implement the login API call integration, we get the user detail, right? So that you need to store into the local storage. Means logged in user data. Once you do the login, you get the data, what user you have logged in. That data you need to store into your browser. Either session storage, local storage, cookies, service variables, subject, behavior, anywhere. But we have to store something on your browser. Okay. There will be so many intro question, what we should, where we should store the token, either session storage, local storage, cookies, service variable, where anywhere we can store. Just justify your reason why you will store in cookie or why you will store in the service variable or why you will store in the session storage also. Okay, just justify that reason. All mediums are okay according to the requirement. We have to use something now. So if user got the data, that data we need to store. Let's check again the get API call, how we were getting the data. Let's go back to the login page. Login 111223344. I just wanted to see how we are getting the data from the user response. So see result dot data dot email ID. So what we will do, this user ID we will store in your local storage. So that by that you will understand key one, if user is logged in local storage, we will be able to find the user ID key. So result dot data dot user ID. Fine. So local storage, I'm using local storage dot set item logged user ID. So result comma result dot data dot, what was it? Let's copy the exact same thing. It might be in capitals case. Yeah. User ID over here. So how do you know the user is logged in or not? If API call is success, we are storing the data into the local storage. Now this same data we need to read in our guard. So here instead of directly returning, first you will read the local storage data. Local data. Instead of set item, now it will be get item. You need to read the particular key data, right? So get item. If local storage has this property present, you will get the data, otherwise it will be null. So if local data equal to null means user is not logged in. So what you need to do? Return false. But if user is not logged in, we have to redirect him back to the login page. So for that, you have to create the instance of your router. So constant router is equal to inject router service object we are creating. This is how you create the router service in object in a service because it's a arrow function. So this is how you create by creating a local variable. So router this dot, sorry, not this, router dot navigate by URL, and where you have to navigate slash login. But if local data is not null, means your user is logged in, so you will return true. Control paste over here. Now see how does it works now. Okay, let's go back to the login page again. Okay, now if you check the local storage application, let me remove this. We don't have any data. Okay, now let's try to log in. Or first, let's try to visit the signal page because on the signal page we have added the guard. Currently, only signal route is the authenticated route. Now, why it is added over here? So by guard got executed. So what it is doing, it is currently reading the local storage data. In local storage, we don't have the data, so it is say null. If the local storage doesn't have that key, what you are trying to read, you will get the null value. So if it is null, what we are doing, we are again navigating him back to the login page. See, user is not able to access the signal page if he is not logged in. Now let's try to log in. Your email ID and your password. Continue. Now you are storing the logged in data. So if you check the application, now you have the logged in data. Now again, before activating your signal page, we are in the guard. So now local data is there. It is not null. So it will go to the else block and it will return simply return true. So now we are able to access. Got it? See, again, I will reload. We are able to access the page because in the local storage, we have the data. That's how we know ki yes, user is logged in. If I remove it and if I log in again, I will be thrown back to the login page because I don't have the logged in user data. See, again, I'm back to the login page. So this is how we implement the guard. On a particular route, we can add multiple guard also. That's why it is array. Okay. Now, if you want to authenticate all the routes, so instead of adding it individually on every page, what you can do, you can add it over here. Sorry. Control X over here directly to the parent. Now all pages will be authenticated. You don't have to add in every route. You just add it to the parent. That's it. Okay. So this is the guard by which you implement the authorization, authentication. You know that in Angular, we have an intro question. What is authorization and what is authorization? So login process is nothing but your authentication and checking if user is allowed to access that particular page. That is your authorization. So role-based guard, right? Role-based directives. That is example of authorization. Login page and auth guard will be part of your authentication only. Fine. So make sure that intro question is very important. Everyone is going to face this. If you are basically if you are within the range of 0 to 4 years, definitely you are going to face this question: authentication and authorization. Which is which? Okay, fine. So if you are new, please do like and subscribe. In video description, you will be finding a link of my YouTube channel, means WhatsApp group. You can join that and you can connect with me anytime. Thank you all.